try. So I'm logged into one of my other accounts here, and I'm going to see if we can hear it. If you guys just jumped on and you can hear me, this is my 4th attempt of my live stream immediately just shutting all the audio off. I see it like the mixer, and it says that, oh, look at that, it's working. But it sounds like it's working now. So very, very glad about that. Whew. All right, so if you are just a part of the stream right now, please make sure that you like this. Today what we are doing is we are just simply doing some video reviews. And that'll be something that we're going to be doing from now on, hopefully once a week. I just got real busy with some other things and I wasn't able to do it. So if you're just jumping on right now, make sure that you work. And Jelly Duck, thank you so much for sticking around. I was just telling that you can hear a little bit. Let me turn my microphone up. Hopefully that's a little bit better. I've got a lot of controls now. I'm not sure exactly what was happening, but Jelly Duck, as soon as I would go live, I would literally watch my entire, like all my audio wave bars and stuff just go flat. And I have no idea. And I literally I tried StreamYard, just doing private streams, trying to get it to work. And of course that was a mess. But anyway, so here we are. So we're going to do video reviews. And I don't know if you would like me to review one of your videos. I know you do really fantastic work. But so if there is a video, Jelly Duck, that you'd like me to take a look at, maybe give some tips on framing or what you could do maybe to and maybe improve audio, better hooks, or just anything, I'd be glad to take a look at it. We have a few people that are planning on coming, but that was supposed to be at 1 o'clock. And here we are, an hour past the time that I was supposed to stream, trying to figure this out. But let me see here. I'm going to just send some people some notifications on this. And if we don't get anybody that wants their stuff review, I just want to make this, have some value in this. So I'm going to just talk about kind of my setup and how I still don't have any clue how it failed and how it was just not working. Yeah, Jelly Duck, this is the 4th attempt. Yep. Yeah, I tried 4 times and it was just like barely going. And I think you were there for most of them, but there was a couple times I hit live and absolutely nothing. There was just really something funky going on with Streamlabs just not projecting audio. It probably was a button somewhere that I didn't click. But anyway, so let's go ahead and jump right into some video reviews. We could, just for starters, we could talk about kind of like what I do when I'm looking at videos and the things that I look for when I critique. And the first of all is, without a doubt, the first thing is sound. And if you go to my second channel, Simplified Filming, my very first video that I did, if I'm remembering correctly, is I'm going to pull it up right now for you. Let's see here, Simplified Filming, that I did on audio, because it is the first thing that people hear. So that's why it's so important. What the heck happened? That was weird. Simplified Filming. Thank you, Jelly Duck. Now, are you talking about the struggles of a serial killer in 2020? Yes, that was a very funny video. I'm doing a BTS on that hopefully today. If my brain isn't completely destroyed and frustrated with this, I'm going to try to do a BTS on how I actually shot that and how I shoot it by myself. So, Simplified Filming. I'm going to pull this up. So, yeah, like my first video, let me switch scenes here. My first video that I did was on sound. So that's the first thing that I notice. And that's incredibly important for people to immediately connect. Because if you connect with bad audio, who's one to talk like me today, just automatically horrible audio, or no audio, if your audio is bad, that's the first thing that's going to make them want to click off. And I see a lot of videos, especially even in the community of like the wealth and finance, is people are the audio just comes off really, really bad. And, they set their phone up across the room and it's echoing horribly because maybe they have a nice house or a nice little setup, but they don't have any additional microphones. So I always tell every filmmaker, if you're going to start filming, yes, you can just start with your phone, but this stuff's going to cost you money. Look, you're going to need to spend money. And if YouTube is going to potentially be a career for you, there's no shame in spending money. Yes, just plan and start record now. But if you could set aside just $100, you could buy yourself a tripod and a microphone and still use your phone as your video camera, and you would be set up, and you would be 10 times better than the majority of the people out there. So absolutely, the very first thing as a filmmaker needs to get is definitely some good audio equipment. And then get it figured out, not like me and go live where nobody can hear you. Hopefully that never happens again. All right. So I'm going to talk about and kind of critique some of my videos. So I'm going to play some desktop audio here. I'm going to switch accounts on my phone here. And thank you so much, Jelly Deck, for stopping by. I really appreciate it. You have a Canon ES... oh, okay, yeah. Nice, dude. So that DJI Pocket, that's the one that has the camera on it? Or is that the one that you can mount your Canon to it? I don't remember. I believe it's the one with the camera on it. Am I wrong about that? So that's a lot of good cameras, dude. That's awesome. That is awesome. Let me actually just pull up your account here, because I like your stuff. I listened to your newest video. Jelly Dog. It was good. It was good. One thing, let me turn up the desktop audio here. Whoops. Oh, that was just a really quick video. Yeah, there we go. One thing that would be interesting in future videos. Okay, so you just like post the songs, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jelly Deck, but you just post the songs. It would be cool, like in the future, and maybe you've done it on some where you're oh, hold on, right down here. Hey, I just need you to explore your channel more. Yeah, I was gonna say where you introduce yourself just like that, and then you talk about, hey, I'm gonna teach you how to make some beats now, or teach you how to do this or that. Be kind of cool if maybe you lent a little more into some of the tutorials and stuff too. Just showing your screen, super helpful, because I use GarageBand just to dink around. So when I see your screen, I'm like, oh, wow, I can do that. It sounds so good, but it looks so basic when it's broken down like that. So, yeah, so I think that would be cool. Again, like I said, that's just my suggestion, but anyway, yes, yep. Lockdown and quarantine, where there's not a lot we can do. Not a lot we can do. I do like your music, man. I do like your channel, so just keep up the good work. Obviously, it's paying off with a lot of your subscribers. That's really cool. So filmmakers tips, tip number 1 absolutely needs to be audio equipment. That needs to be the first priority, and you can get really freaking cheap lavaliers. If you just type into Google cheap lavaliers, you can get some really cheap ones, and then you buy just a little cheap adapter, or some of them come with it already, not an 1/8-inch plug-in, but it automatically plugs into your Lightning port on your iPhone, or the USB-C 3 on all of the Android phones. It immediately just plugs right in, and you've got it. It's just absolutely, if you want any more information, definitely go over to Simplified Filming and check out the video, because I go over a lot of details on different solutions that you have for audio. Let's see here. Might be looking forward to a new daily blog coming soon. Oh, that would be cool. You don't use a laptop. Oh, you just use like an iPad to edit your stuff on, Jelly Duck? Just an iPad? Or a desktop computer? Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I've used Acid for doing all of my beats. In fact, Jelly, I think you might like this. Why not just me actually show you some of my stuff? I never released the album, but I made a whole dubstep album. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It's pretty terrible. But what the heck? Why not show the world? because I tried my hardest, you know, and that's my rule to myself. Like, as long as I know I tried my hardest, then, you know, I don't care. So, all right, let's see here. Oh, rap, rough cut. I need to stop putting so much garbage in here. These are my finished songs. Oh, hold on a second. Where? Oh, okay, I see. Dubstep Science. So I wanted to create an album that was not dark, because all of the dubstep is like death, blood splatter, killer, you know, psychopath and stuff like that. I thought, what if I created one that still has a, you know, the dark sound, but, you know, like dark matter and stuff like that, and just robots talking about artificial intelligence and stuff. Let me just play a couple clips, and I'll just play minutes out of it. Stephen Hawking, where's that one here? Okay, I'm not hearing it here. Are you hearing it on your end? I'm not hearing it. Oh yeah, that's right. There's a blank spot at the beginning of this. This one's got one of the best hooks that I've done. Anyway, if we get more people in the chat, we'll start doing some reviews, but right now we don't have that many people watching, I don't believe, here. I might be wrong. If you guys are in the chat, you like liquid dubstep, I'll have to look up what that is. I've never heard it referred to as liquid dubstep. So this one's got a nice hook. Okay, just don't like the term EDM. Liquid dubstep, okay.
I may be bound to a wheelchair, but in my mind I am free.
Anyway, that's just one song, and then I made one in a major key, because most like EDM and stuff is played in minors. So I just was messing around and I created one. I'll just skip to the. Created one in a major key just for fun. That's what a rainbow is. You know, I was just having fun. Like I said, I never released the album or never put it on anywhere on the internet, just because it was like, eh. Yeah. Okay. All right. Liquid dub. So why do you call it dubstep then? Because the way I understand, Jelly, is dubstep is more or less what they call like double time. So it's not the bass note on every single eighth, but it's bass note, snare, bass note, snare. I thought that's kind of what defined dubstep. Am I incorrect on that? Yes, I do know that. That's kind of where it began to get popular with that style of beat. Cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, so let's see here. We're definitely losing track of what we were talking about, but we're having a good time. So channel reviews, not channel reviews, but video reviews. I don't see anybody jumping in. We do have one other person that looks like they just jumped in. And they'll see if they're interested in getting one of their videos reviewed. And like I said, Jelly Deck, if there's one you would like, some advice on what you could do and stuff like that, just feel free to throw that in there. Very, very cool. All right. I was hoping Matt Rogers would be able to jump on. He's doing video reviews too. I think he's done 2 of them. I've done about 4 or 5 of them, not including all the failed attempts today. So another tip. So when it comes to audio, obviously, as I mentioned before, that should be where you're spending your first money. And then even above and beyond that. So if you were like given a budget of like, let's say $500, if you just said, okay, I'm going to start my YouTube channel, I'm going to save up $500. He's actually interviewing me with Matt Rogers. Oh, that's really cool, man. That's awesome. You guys aren't live right now, are you?
All here Computer Chick Productions was here.
Anyway, forgive me. So, if you were to have, let's say, if somebody was going to be giving you money, or if you just decided, okay, I'm going to launch my channel, I'm going to save up a whole bunch of money, and you're just like, I'm going to save up, like, let's say $300 or even $100. Obviously, audio equipment, without question, should be going to that. The next thing might surprise you. I would say it's not camera. It's, you would buy something that helps your efficiency. So whether that would be a consistent place to shoot in, for example, like, oh, maybe this corner of this living room, can I move the sofa, rearrange the living room, set it up, and then spend that $100 on maybe painting the walls, putting some pictures, printing some pictures of your logo, hanging them up so you have a consistent place to shoot. I did that in the guest bedroom. I've done videos on that in the past, and I'll be doing more on my other channel, Simplified Filming. But I spent, a little bit of money. It wasn't more than $100. Painted it because it was this purple and I didn't like it. So I painted it white and then hung up the stuff. I made the shelves. That cost me nothing because it was made out of pallet wood. Then I printed, made a pillow and everything with my logo on it. So I would absolutely recommend the very first thing that you need to do as a filmmaker is buy audio equipment. And the second thing, you really, really need to be making your spending money on efficiency, basically. And if maybe buying a better camera would make your efficiency way, way better, then buy a second camera, or maybe buying a camera that you can pull the card out, go plug it into your laptop instead of maybe emailing it if you're shooting from your phone. Find out what causes you the most pain and frustration. And then you take that $100 that you saved up and see if you can spend it on that to, to simplify that process. And to answer your question, Jelly Duck, I launched it a little while ago, probably about, I want to say a month and a half ago. Got 31 subscribers. I thought you were a subscriber. Let me jump over to my other screen here. And it's called Simplified Filming, where I just break down. So that was my second channel that I started. And I think you've seen it because I thought I've seen your comments on there, but maybe not. If not, make sure you jump over and do that. Yeah, it looks like Matt Rogers is live right now. At least that's what, according to what the internet says. Interesting. Well, now it's not saying he's live. That's weird. Anyway, okay, so that would be step number one. So step number two is buying something that helps your efficiency. Because if you're shooting on your phone and you're comfortable editing on your phone, then whatever causes you the most frustration, try to spend money on that. And maybe it's you hate designing your thumbnails, so you want to buy Photoshop. Then spend your money on Photoshop. Know what I'm saying? Because whatever you find the most frustrating is what is going to lack. If you find processing your audio, okay, well then you need to spend that money on processing audio, on better equipment, do a lot of research. If you want to, say for example, if you're, whatever, again, I'm stumbling over my words just because I've done so many videos about this and I've practiced it a lot. Forgive me, but it's really important for us to make sure our process is efficient, because if we don't, and we're just going to keep stumbling, and that'll be the first thing that makes us not want to do it. Let me jump back to the chat. I use a art studio on iOS. It's similar to Photoshop. That's cool. I heard it's pretty good. So, awesome. So, obviously, when starting a YouTube channel, don't go into it saying, oh, I can do this for free, especially if you want to be serious about it. Go into it saying, I can start for free, but I'm going to need to spend money. and you need to start scrimping and you need to start saving, maybe selling some stuff to get yourself, some money. And like I said, audio without question needs to be the first thing you do. The second thing you need to do, you need to spend money on whatever it's going to create your process to be more efficient. And then the third, if you do have leftover money, would be not camera still, lighting. You can get some really cheap eye rings. I don't particularly like the eye rings because I don't like the little eye light, that it gives them. So I don't particularly care for that, but it is something that is real important. So definitely do whatever you want. I'm gonna go to full screen here, and I'm gonna show you how I light my setup. So I bought. I wish I had one available. I bought. I'm just gonna set my headphones down. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab one. I got one of these guys. They are, I got them off Amazon. They're just little LED light tubes for like shops. Real short cords. You can link them together. And I have them up above me here. Let me show you that as soon as it focuses. It's not going to adjust. It's just too bright. But anyway, basically I have one of those attached to the ceiling. And I put a garbage sack, just literally a plastic garbage sack. So it creates a larger light, which softens the light even more. That one, yeah, that's way too bright. That one was, I bought 4 of them for $40. Yeah, it was an incredibly good deal. And they were on sale. They were on but I mean, even if you were to buy this for like $20, which I think on average, that's about what they are. You find some good deals online. You look up the CRI. The CRI tells you what temperature it is and how accurate the color is. And for the most part, I find a few times if I change shutter speeds to real weird, they flicker real bad. Other than that, they're really, really solid lights. Again, look on Amazon, search for some deals, get yourself a couple of those. And then maybe some light stands. And again, light stands are cheap. You can get 2 or 3 for less than $20. So literally you could outfit yourself for $100, no problem. So if lighting your area was important to you, spend the money on some good lighting. Again, try not to DIY it too much. You're going to find it not being efficient and really frustrating. If you're trying to tape your lights to chairs and things like that, you're just going to get so frustrated you won't want to shoot a video. You need to have your video process being so efficient that it's just a piece of cake. We do have electronic stores in Kuwait. That's awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we have Home Depot, and you can go down and get lights just like the one I was showing at Home Depot for fairly inexpensive. They also sell these big square panels like people put in offices, and they're super thin. They're like that thin. And all you'd have to do excuse me, is, maybe with a screw gun or something, attach something so you can just put it right on a light stand and hold it up and you have this nice flood of soft light. Again, these are very cheap options. I will be doing videos about DIY lighting, the pros and the cons, but I mean, it can be done and it's cheaper and cheaper. Back in the day, man, I was shooting it with halogen lamps, like shop lights. The set heating up and burning some of the tin foil I put on the outside, I was doing old school stuff and I was trying to figure out how to do barn doors and attach them to the lights. Eventually, I bought a whole bunch of the Arri knockoff tungsten lights. I bought a big set of them and then just LED swept the market. So it was kind of like having tungsten lights. You're an idiot, Oh, you're still shooting on film? Are you an idiot? There's going to be one of those times that it's, there's going to be some probably cinematographers or something that are going to be like, no, I refuse to use these because I don't like LED lights. And I didn't for a long time either, but they got really good. So I started it again. Anyway, okay, so let's go over those tips one more time. Like I said, I know this was supposed to be video review, and Jelly Jug, I really appreciate you sticking around and listening. Hopefully other people will be able to jump on and get some value out of this, even though we ramble First off, audio equipment. If you were to pull like $100 and say, I'm spending $100, I'm going to sell some things, spend $100. The first thing, absolutely without a shadow of a doubt, audio equipment. The next thing would be is trying to increase your efficiency. Whatever is your most frustrating, spend the rest of whatever that budget is on creating efficiency. Then the third one would be lighting if necessary. If you always have a good, well-lit room and it looks good and you've already maybe got some accent lights because you bought some string lights somewhere, then great. You don't have to spend any money on it, right? And then the fourth one would be then camera. So with all of that, and then of course, what camera should I get? I don't know. There's no way I can tell you what's going to be most efficient for you, but efficiency should be the one you should be looking for. You might look at like, I'm going to buy a beginner's camera. This is a $7,000 camera. Yeah, but it's got a really good image. You don't. For YouTube, you do not need that. The camera on your phone is incredibly good. Stop worrying about good cameras. You should be buying efficient cameras that work for you. Like if, for example, if maybe just if you mostly sit at your desk, maybe just a real high quality webcam that just shoots incredibly good images makes it most efficient. So it records it immediately. You don't have to pull the card out. Then do that. Know what you're doing and buy the camera that's most efficient. Because what frame rates it shoots in, does it have this weird crop factor? Does it, in the end, that doesn't matter. And there's so many cameras and they all have tweaks and they all have bugs and they all have things that aren't great about them. You pick a camera that's going to be the most efficient for you. Not the coolest, not the sexiest, what's going to be most efficient? Is this going to be easy, quick, and simple to use? Now, if you are like in the film industry, then of course, the camera is very important. You have to, your image has got to look good and you've got to know what you're doing. But the cameras these days just look so darn good that it's like, the camera's better than probably like I'll ever be. Some of the cameras I have, some of the images that other people pull out, I'm like, dang, I can't do that with mine. Obviously, this camera's way better than I'll ever be. But anyway, so those are just my 4 tips real quick. And I know we were going to do video reviews and no one jumped on, was interested. But hopefully you got some value out of this. And if you watched it, great. Thank you so much again. Big shout out to Jelly Duck. If you haven't heard, what about noise? Oh, hold on. You said, what about noise reduction? Yes, absolutely. Like noise reduction as in like software processing or room treatment. See, I would consider when I say audio, that includes that. So if you're in a room and there's just some noise and it's a bad echo, maybe you could shoot with just a shotgun mic like I do if the room's treated well. So maybe instead of spending that money on a microphone, spend that money on getting sound panels, and that serves 2 purposes. It makes your filming space look cool with the black sound panels, which are pretty cheap, but it also reduces all the noise and the echo, which makes it sound better, and if maybe you're living near a highway, maybe buying some cheap blankets like at Harbor Freight, like I have on the back wall. I can't turn the camera around anymore, but they're just furniture pads. It really reduces noise. Put a couple layers of those guys and then put some nice curtains or something. You're going to really cut down the noise. So when I say audio, that includes room treatment or maybe a noise reduction software. So absolutely, great point. No, definitely good point. Anyway, so Jelly Duck definitely, and if you guys watching this haven't heard some of his music, it's really, really cool. And or if you go over to Rants with Rogers, he does this, what was it, about an hour long, I think, interview. He makes some great music. He's getting a lot of subscribers, gets tons of views. Definitely check him out. And I just want to thank you all for stopping by. And in the meantime, don't forget, always be creative.